Good morning, guys. Today we are covering 812 perimeter and area of similar figures. So let's kind of fill out some notes first. Similar figures have the same shape and, but a different size. If two figures are similar, then their corresponding angles are congruent, which remember that means the same, and the ratio, which is set up some number over another number, of their sides are proportional. This ratio is called the scale factor. All right, so let's figure out what this is. So for number one, we're being asked to give the scale factor of figure A to B. So that means when I'm writing my scale factor, I'm going to put A over B. I can pick any set of sides that I want. Okay, so I'm going to choose these two sides here, the height of the triangle. So I'm going to put 3 over 6. And remember, we always simplify. Always simplify. So this is going to simplify to 1/2. Moving right along. Now we're talking about the actual perimeter and area of similar figures. If two figures are similar with a scale factor of A to B, majority of the time we will see it written with the fraction. Let me just write the word or. You can write it either way. The perimeter is going to be A to B, or A over B. There's not anything different. The thing you've got to pay attention to is area squared, A squared to B squared. So that means it could also be written as A squared over B squared. Either way is acceptable. All right, let's work an example where we are assuming the figures are similar. Give the scale factor, the perimeter ratio, and the area ratio of figure A to figure B. So we're going to look at number 4. So for the scale factor, that means I'm doing A over B. So I'm going to do 18 over 63. And I can see both of these are divisible by 9. So therefore, my scale factor is 2 over 7. The perimeter, and remember you could also write this as 2 to 7. The perimeter ratio, is going to be the same because it's just the scale factor of these. It's just A over B. Nothing's different. So therefore, these two are the same. Where it comes in to be different is the area ratio, because that's where I have to do A squared to B squared. So that means I'm doing 2 squared to 7 squared, which gives me 4 to 49. Next, we're moving on to the next page at this point. So we have the perimeter of figure B. So if we assume the figures are similar, we want to find the perimeter. Okay, well, in order to do that, I can set up the ratio of the proportions. I'm going to do A to B. So I'm going to have 36 over 9 equals 132 over X. And if I want to, I can see, well, wait a minute, 36 over 9 can be simplified, which would make this easier. This becomes a 4, and this becomes a 1, which would make this I gotta figure out the lighting for the next one. So therefore, this is going to become, I'm going to use this one. I would learn not to use that marker. So then we would have 4x equals 132. We have to divide by 4, and we get x equals, so I'm over here doing 4 into 132, 3, 12, 12, so that's 3 again. So this is 33 meters. And this is the perimeter of B. Next example, I'm going to jump down to number 10. For this one, we're finding the area. This is where we've got to, for this, we use the area ratio in proportion to find the new area. So when I'm looking at this, I'm going to use my scale figure, but we're going to have, so this is 8 over 20. Well, I can divide by 4, and that can simplify to 2/5. This is why we always simplify the scale factors. It makes our work a whole lot easier. So now I have 2/5 equals, this is A over B. So therefore, I'm going to have x over 500, which means we multiply diagonally now, and I have 5x equals, oh, that's where I missed. Back up. I told myself and I didn't even follow it. When we're doing this, because I wrote the note but didn't even listen. Okay, we have to take the area ratio. Okay, so this is where I figure out the area ratio. This is where I do 2 squared over 5 squared, which gives me 4 over 25. This is what I use in the proportion. So I'm going to have 4 25ths equals x over 500. And now I can either cross multiply or I can see, yeah, I'm going to cross multiply. That makes my life easier. So I have 25x equals 2,000. Divide by 25, and x equals 80 inches squared. And again, the thing to remember here is we have to do this area ratio in the proportion because I'm finding the area. Number 12. Here we're just finding the dimension. So we've got to do a little bit different because it's giving the area. So for this one, for area problems, take square root, kind of working backwards at the beginning here, of area ratio, square root of area ratio, to use in proportion to find missing dimension or missing side. It's because I'm trying to find a side, that's why I have to take the square root. Because it is a missing side, that's why we have to take the square root. All right, so we're still setting this up as A over B. So I'm given the areas, so that means I'm still going to do A over B. So I'm going to have 702 over 78. Well, that right there is divisible by, because that simplifies to, what am I dividing by? Where's my calculator? Is it actually 78? 702 divided by 78 equals 9. So yes, I'm actually dividing by 78, and that gives me 9 over 1. So now, to work this problem, we take the square root of each one, which then gives me 3 over 1. So now I set up my proportion of 3 over 1 equals x over 18. And we have x equals 3 times 18, which is 54 meters. Last one, talking about 14. It gives me the area of figure A. Figure A is 176. The area of figure B is 275. If the perimeter, oh, we're talking about perimeter here. The perimeter of figure A is 52. We want to find the perimeter of figure B. Remember, perimeter is not squared. It's just like a dimension. So therefore, I use the same process as I did here. Okay, so we use this process here. Use same process because perimeter. So that means I've got to take, and I'm going to do A over B. So that's 176 over 275. And I'm going to see if I can simplify that. It can't be 25. Can't be 5. One 176 divided by 4. 275 divided by 4. That's not going to work. Oh, 3. Let me try 3. 275 divided by 3. Enter. No. 275 divided by 15. No. What are they dividing by? Okay, so they're dividing by 11. So divide by 11, and we end up with 16 over 25. And yes, you will be able to use a calculator because you're doing square roots and all that other stuff, even though you should know these. But with these, it's hard to figure out. But remember, you write it before you type it. Okay, now we take the square root of each one, so we end up with 4 over 5. So my proportion is 4 over 5 equals 52 over x. And that gives me 4x equals 260. Divide by 4. X equals 65 feet. So this is the perimeter of B. Remember, pause and repeat as needed. Have a great day.